Hello, and welcome back to the Podcasting Problem Solver. I'm Leah Bryant, podcast producer, certified growth coach, and the person who helps you turn your podcast into a powerful, results-driven growth machine. And you've made it to the last piece of the seamless podcast framework puzzle. We've gone through strategy, execution, attraction, and now we're diving into the phase that most podcasters quietly struggle with once the launch hype fades and the confetti's been swept away, and that's momentum. Because let's be honest, launching is a high. You've got adrenaline, a checklist, a deadline, but staying consistent after the buzz dies down, that's the part that separates podcast dabblers from podcast leaders. This is exactly where the pod fade creeps in. This is where life, business, and perfectionism start getting loud. And this is also where the magic happens, if you've got the right systems and support in place. So today, we're talking about how to keep showing up without sacrificing your weekends, your sanity, or your sleep schedule. Because momentum isn't about the hustle, it's about sustainability. So let's build something that lasts. And in order to do that, we are going to kick it off with some truth. Okay. Consistency doesn't mean posting something every week, no matter what. It does mean creating a system that fits your life, your energy, and your reality, not a one-size-fits-all content calendar built for robots. Because here is what no one will tell you. Not everyone thrives on batching 5 episodes in a single sitting. Not everyone works best on Mondays. And burnout doesn't make you more productive. It just makes you want to quit. Okay, Leah, that's great to know. But what's the key to consistency? Well, the key is designing a batching system that does work with your natural rhythm, not against it. So here's how we can do that. One is know your creative cycles. Are you sharper in the morning or late at night? Do you hit a groove midweek or crash by Thursday? Plan your batching around your brain's actual energy flow, not some arbitrary content day that sounds good on paper. For example, I batch outline scripts on Mondays when I'm fresh. On Wednesdays, I record when I'm in my flow. And then on Fridays, I do edits, any catch up if I need to. Number 2, break batching into manageable layers. You don't have to record 5 episodes in one sitting to be quote unquote productive. Instead, try this layered batching model. So day 1, outline 2 to 3 episodes. Day 2, record 1 to 2 of them. And then day 3, prep promotional assets, graphics, show notes, do your editing, all that fun stuff. This approach reduces decision fatigue, makes progress visible, and it gives you buffer room when life throws a curveball, because it's bound to happen. Number 3, protect your batching time like revenue-generating work. Podcasting may not always feel urgent, but it supports your visibility, authority, and long-term sales. So treat your batching blocks like high-priority client work, because in many ways, they really are. Block it on your calendar, silence the distractions, and honor it like a meeting with your future audience. And number 4, which is one of my favorites, is keeping a content parking lot. This way, you're never starting from scratch. You have like a running list of topic ideas in ClickUp or Trello, or even the Notes app on your phone. That way, when it's batching day, you're not wasting energy trying to figure out what to say. You're just executing. One tip is you could tag ideas by offer, theme, or episode type, like solo interview, Q&A, so you can stay strategic and mix up your content intentionally. And this is exactly the kind of work that we do inside my 14-day podcast growth consult. We create a custom batching system based on your energy patterns, capacity, and goals, so you're not just trying to stay consistent. You are consistent with ease. And if you want to feel that batching clarity, DM me on Instagram or send an email to learn more. So you didn't start a podcast to add another full-time job to your plate. We know this. You started it to grow your business, build trust with your audience, and share your message in a sustainable way. But here's the truth that no one really talks about. Recording the episode is just one part of the puzzle. I know, because what about everything else? You have to write compelling, keyword-rich show notes, You have to create all those promotional graphics in your reels. Then you have to upload it into your host and schedule it and share it and write newsletters and managing your files. Oh my gosh. And then you still have to have energy to run your business and take care of your family and all the other things. If you're nodding along, you're not alone. You're not doing anything wrong. Podcasting can feel like a lot unless you have a system that actually supports you. So here's how to simplify that podcast workflow and stay consistent. You're going to want to use a project management tool that mirrors your brain. Over here, we are big fans of ClickUp because it's customizable and scalable. But honestly, the best tool is the one that you'll actually use. At minimum, I want you to map out each episode's journey. So you will have like pre-production, which is like the idea and your outlines and a script if you want to script it out. And then you have your production, which is like your recording. And then you'll have your post-production, which is your editing, your uploading. And then you'll have scheduled live and your marketing, which is like to promote it. Okay, so you could either do fancy pre-production, post-production, all the things, right? Or you could do idea, outline, record, edit, upload, promote, whatever works best for your brain. I mean, even a simple checklist in Google Sheets can reduce that decision fatigue and prevent things from slipping through the cracks. Number 2 is repurpose every episode like the content goldmine that it is. One 20-minute episode can be repurposed into 2 to 3 Instagram posts, a short form video or reel, a LinkedIn carousel, a newsletter tip, a quote graphic, a teaser clip for Threads or TikTok. I mean, the list goes on. This isn't about doing more, though. It's about doing it smarter. Because each episode is already packed with value, you want to maximize that. And this is exactly what I walk through with clients in my 14-day podcast growth consult. So you're never staring at a blank content calendar again. Number 3, you want to know your must-haves versus the nice-to-haves. Because you have to get honest with yourself. Do you need a blog post? Do you need a full transcript? Do you need the real custom graphics? 12 social media posts for every episode? I mean, sure, if you have a team, go for it. But you can start small. Start with what truly moves the needle forward for you and your business. You definitely want a clear keyword optimized title and show notes. And you definitely want promotional assets that you can reuse. I love templated things, especially for podcast episodes. And then you can also add in a single email or a social post with a direct call to action to listen, because less stress equals more impact. Number 4, you want to protect your creative energy like it's client work. Creativity, it needs care, and burnout will kill momentum faster than any messy Google Drive. So some ways to protect your energy flow would be block out recording days and avoid stacking them heavy with other calls. You want to be in that podcast brain, right? You don't want to have to switch it on and off. You can batch episodes during your most energized time of the day or the week. And then, yes, say no to guest pitches that feel off or unaligned. It's okay to do that. And you want to leave room between tasks. So editing right after recording isn't always the best move to make. Give it some time. Remember, your podcast is supposed to support your business and your well-being, not drain you. It should be a growth engine, not a grind. And if you're craving help in building this podcast process that fits into your real life, then talk to me about my 14-day podcast growth consult, because I built it exactly for this. You walk away with personalized workflows, content system, and a promotion strategy designed to work with your brain, not against it. So here's the thing about podcasting. What worked in month 1 might not work in month 6. Your podcast isn't static. As your business evolves, so should your show. The topics you cover, the people you speak to, the offers you mention, even the way you structure your episode. It's completely normal and healthy, by the way, to hit a point where your current format starts to feel off. So, how do you know if it's time for a pivot? Well, if you feel bored or boxed in or burned out by your current format, maybe you've launched a new offer, changed your services, or shifted your niche completely. Your audience has grown, but maybe your content hasn't evolved to meet their new level. Maybe you find yourself dreading production, not just procrastinating it. Well, the good news is you don't have to burn it all down and start from scratch. No, we don't want you to do that. Podcasting is one of the most flexible content formats out there. You can tweak and refine and realign, all without losing momentum or confusing your audience. In fact, when done intentionally, it often deepens that connection and increases your downloads. Momentum-friendly pivots that actually work can include maybe you move from weekly to seasonal, like you have an 8-episode series with a central theme and natural breaks. Maybe you add in guests once a month to lighten your solo recording load and expand your reach. Maybe you reframe your messaging to align with your new offer or brand positioning or client stories. You can test a new episode format, maybe shorter solo tips, listener Q&As, or client case studies. Remember, consistency doesn't mean you can never change. Ever. Stay the same. It means showing up with intention, not staying stuck in a format that no longer fits your business or your bandwidth. Sometimes a small tweak can make a really big impact. This is exactly what I did with one of my current clients, Katie. She felt stuck in a rinse and repeat format that no longer reflected her brand. We made just 2 targeted changes, 2 simple changes. And her podcast downloads increased by 61% within the next month. But more importantly, she fell in love with her show again, and her audience could feel that energy shift. And this is what I help clients do during my podcast refresh intensives, because helping you step back, evaluate what's working and what's not, and rebuild momentum with a show that reflects who you are now, not who you were at launch. Because remember, your podcast is a living, breathing asset, not a one-time project you locked in forever. Because your message deserves to evolve and your podcast should grow with you. All right, let's wrap this up with a reminder. Podcast momentum isn't built by doing more. It's built by doing what matters most consistently. You don't need to go viral. You just need a plan that honors your capacity and your goals. So here is your momentum building checklist. 1, create a batching system that matches your energy. Whether that's 1 episode at a time or batching in layers, like the outlining, recording, and then promoting. Finding the rhythm that keeps you from burning out. 2, balance production with real life, because you have to give yourself margin at the end of the day. Launching is just the beginning. Momentum comes from sustainability, not perfection. Number 3, stay flexible as your podcast evolves, because your show is allowed to shift with your business. In fact, it really should. That's not inconsistency. That's strategy. And hey, if you want help turning this into a system that you'll actually stick to, book a discovery call with me and let's chat about the 14-day podcast growth consult. Because this mini coaching experience is designed to help you refine your podcast strategy, strengthen your workflow, and grow with more intention. All of that in just 2 weeks. You'll get 2 coaching sessions, 14 days of Telegram access for like real-time Q&A, a growth tracking dashboard, and my 90-day podcast growth workbook to keep the momentum going after the 14 days. If you want details, then send me an email, support@leahbryantco.com, or send me a DM on Instagram with the word momentum, and I will send you all the fun details. And if you're not on my newsletter yet, why not? It's so much fun, and I always share actionable tips every week to help you grow your podcast your way and sustainably, strategically, with a little humor along the way, because that's important. The link to do so is in the show notes below. And make sure you come back next week as we wrap up this seamless podcast framework. And I will share a couple other different little strategies that you can utilize for your podcast. And until next time, remember, keep showing up with purpose, keep sharing your story, and keep it seamless. Because your podcast isn't just a microphone moment, it's a movement for your message. See you next week.